So, welcome. I'm joined now by Pines Reporter journalist Hadassah Alankar and Fern Marmont. Welcome to the show, Hadassah and Fern. I just wanted to say hi to you guys.
Hello, great to be here again.
So we're just doing this. If you're listening right now, we're here at Reviving Gunnesadauga Radio, RKR 101.7 FM, in partnership with the Pines Reporter from the Eastern Door. We're building a community media hub to strengthen Indigenous storytelling and reporting here in Gunnesadauga. And once again, I'm joined here by Pines Reporter journalist Hadassah Alankar and Fern Marmont. So let's get right into it. So first, I want to start with you, Hadassah, your article here, First Ever Education Director Conference. You talked with Atsiniosta Nelson, the director of the Gunnesadauga Education Center. She attended the first ever FNEC Directors Gathering. Can you explain what this event actually was?
So this event happened because education directors from different Indigenous communities have been asking to have a conference just for them for a little while. The FNEC does host a conference for educational leaders, but not one just for the educational directors. And what Seniosta said, this event was important because education directors really wanted time together to share their insights, learn new strategies, and improve educational management. They don't really get that time when it's a larger conference with more people there. And so last week, they had their first ever FNEC Directors Gathering, and having that time together was really helpful, what Seniosta said.
And the event seemed to inspire her. What were some of the ideas that she got from this gathering?
Well, what Seniosta really wants to improve communication between educational staff and to better meet their needs. That's one of the many points that she's focusing on in education in Gunnesadauga. And some of the ideas she plans to implement is to meet with more educational staff at schools and to even become a more consistent presence in the schools. Right now, she meets with the principals and she has a really good working relationship with them. And meeting with more staff members will help bridge that gap in connection. And on this topic, Seniosta said in an interview that, quote, "I want to make sure that they feel supported and safe to take healthy risks when it comes to their jobs that would be beneficial," unquote.
And also, can you talk a little bit about the cotton swab?
Yes. So at the conference, an educator and motivational speaker, Tom Herc, came to present for the directors. Fun fact, he's actually been to the community during the past 2 years to do some conferences or presentations, I would say, to the educational staff in Gunnesadauga. And at one point during his presentation at the conference, he showed a photo of a cotton-tipped swab on his slideshow. And in this lesson, he said that it was important for leaders to do their best from taking negative comments or reactions from staff personally. And he said that he used to walk around with a cotton-tipped swab in his pocket when he worked at the schools, and this would just be a reminder to him that whenever he had an interaction that maybe was, a little bit abrasive, he would try to not take it personally, and he would remind himself to keep pushing forward even when speed bumps occur. And what Seniosta said that she felt inspired by this, small tip to better communications between each other and to really think about keeping it positive. And she hopes to bring this concept to the staff as well.
Who knew that Q-tips can be so philosophical? So thanks to that. We're going to turn to you now, Fern. A new mural goes up at the Radihande High School. So there was a new mural that was designed for the high school. I wanted to know, who is the artist that collaborated with the students?
Yes, so the artist was Emily Reed, known for her large-scale murals that are a balance between realism and abstraction. She worked with students to create ideas and sketches of a mural and then brought all of the ideas together to create a cohesive final design.
And what was the final design that they actually decided on?
So the final design is stunning. I went to go see the finished mural yesterday. It's of a traditional dancer with a galaxy background. And then there are constellations in the shape of symbols that are significant to the Ganyageha culture surrounding the dancer.
And where was the funding from the project coming from?
So, excuse me, the funding was through a grant with Artists Inspire, a non-for-profit organization who connects local artists with elementary and secondary schools to run art and culture workshops.
So thank you, Fern. Appreciate that. We're going to turn back to Hadassah, but first I just want to remind those of you who may just tuned in, you're listening to RKR 101.7 FM, and this is the Pines Reporter Recap. I am joined by journalists from the Pines Reporter, part of the Eastern Door, Hadassah Alan Carr, and Fern Marmont. So we're going to turn back to you, Hadassah. Local wins, hockey regionals. So this is a bit of an underdog story where local U12B player Yenun Guatsarahawi, Charlie Nicholas, and her team beat another Mistral 1 team 1-0. So tell me why this win was so important.
Well, this win is so important for a few reasons. The first is that Charlie's team qualified to compete in the provincial tournament for the Chevrolet Cup. That's a big deal. And side note, they actually just played their first match in the provincial tournament yesterday. So they've already begun. And the second reason why it's important is that this win was one of Charlie's, that Charlie coach said was like the cherry on the cake. Jonathan Charette, the coach for the team, said that this was a dream season and that all the wins they accumulated this season is actually pretty rare for hockey athletes. Charlie's team has won 3 tournaments and now they get to play in the provincial tournament. That's a big deal. Jonathan Charette, the coach, said himself with all his years of playing hockey, he never had a season like this. So it's really exciting.
And what did Charlie have to say about some of these wins? What was the emotions that she shared?
Well, she said, I guess I'll bring you through the games just to give you an idea. The tournament that Charlie's Mistral team was in the regionals. And so Charlie's team, as you said before, was really the underdogs. And in the regionals tournament, a team can only lose once. If they lose a second time, they're disqualified. And Charlie's Mistral team actually lost their second game in the tournament. So that meant they would have to win all the rest of their games and the finals, to make it. And they did it. They got to the finals. They won all their games. And at the finals, they actually faced off another team that they actually had lost to 3 times before in previous tournaments. And this other team, they hadn't lost yet in the regionals. The opposing team was so confident that they were going to beat Charlie's Mistral team that the coach had actually learned that they had already booked their hotels tickets to they already booked their hotels to play in the provincial tournament. So they were like, we got this, In the finals, Charlie's team battled it off and won in overtime 1-0. Then, because the opposing team hadn't lost yet in the regionals, they actually had the right to ask for another game. And so the very next night, they played yet another final game. And the coach told me in an interview, with only 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the game, Charlie's team scored 1-0. And they won. It was incredible. And so when Charlie was describing it, she said it was surreal. She said she was so excited and really exhausted.
It's kind of like Rocky on skates. What was the emotion like coming from Charlie's dad, Devin?
Well, Dad was pretty enthralled, I have to say. He said that Charlie's face was glowing, and he told me in an interview that he's super proud and that he couldn't even explain how he feels just because he feels so happy. So if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, I don't know what will.
So thank you, Hadassah. We'll turn back to you now, Fern. We're Indian Taco Madness. I like that title. So Roddy Honda held an Indian Taco fundraiser, but I understand this is one of their most successful fundraisers yet. How much did they actually raise, and what are the funds going to?
Yes, so this was their most successful Indian taco fundraiser, and they raised almost $5,000 and sold over 250 tacos. Those funds are going toward the senior graduation celebration, where the 6 seniors have ambitious goals of a limo, red carpet, DJ, and a venue at a sugar shack with their family and friends. Their end goal is to raise over $17,000 to cover the cost of the celebrations, and with any leftover funds, they hope to go on a camping trip together. They are well over halfway to their goal, and they have more fundraiser plans on the horizon.
The fundraiser was not without its challenges, as I understand. Can you tell me what they had to go through to make this successful?
Yes, so I spoke with teacher and organizer Lizanne Montre and high school principal Kimberly Simon, and they told me that the morning of the fundraiser, the fan in the kitchen stopped working and had to be fixed. Montre also cut her finger the day before prepping vegetables, and when the school day ended, they had to switch phones for the dinner rush, and for a little bit, orders were coming in from both phones. Both Montre and Simon worked non-stop the whole day, and Simon shared that since she was in charge of frying the fry bread, she left smelling of oil. Both shared that they were very happy with how organized the fundraiser was, and then there was barely any lines during the rush period.
It also took a lot of people to make it happen. Who were some of the people behind this, and what did they contribute?
So, of course, there was Montre and Simon. Teachers also pitched in working in the kitchen and doing deliveries, such as Coach Jeffrey Nelson. The seniors were also working hard in the kitchen, and community members like Lynn Catford Gabriel volunteered their time as well. Gabriel said that the whole event was very well organized. Even during rush periods, everyone had a positive attitude, and it was clear that everyone took pride in helping out.
So thank you, Fern. One last reminder, if you're just tuning in, this is the Pines Reporter recap here on RKR 101.7 FM. And once again, I am joined by Pines Reporter journalist Hadassah Alankar and Fern Marmont. And we're going to actually be wrapping up. This is the last one here. Returning back to you, Hadassah. So this one's local wins 3 trophies in deck hockey. So this one's about Gunnesadauga Health Center's very own sports coordinator, Selena Bova. And she got a chance to join the first National Ball Hockey League Canada tournament. How did this come about for her?
It was really by chance. A friend needed an extra player for their team to qualify for the tournament, and they reached out to Selena to see if she was interested. And luckily, she was.
So, how was Selena's performance throughout the tournament?
Yes, so it was a really strong performance. In fact, the president and organizer of the tournament said that many of the other players and herself noticed and commented that Selena was a really strong player. Fun fact, Selena has only started playing deck hockey last year. And so when she joined this team for the tournament, she was actually classified as what's called a W7, which is one of the lower categories for players. But the president said Selena is definitely a higher caliber player and will be classified higher next time. And Selena's skill really shined through the tournament. At the end, she earned 3 trophies, including a silver for most assists and 2 golds for most goals and most points accumulated in the game.
And what are some of the plans going forward for the league?
Well, I spoke with the owner and executive director of the National Ball Hockey League Canada, Donald Laporte, and he plans to do more tournaments. He's actually planning a second one for November.
Awesome. So good news to hear. Selena, a very talented individual. So congratulations to you, Selena, if you're out there listening. So before we wrap this up, is there anything that you would like to ask Hadassah? Or if you would like to add, Hadassah.
Well, actually, we didn't get a chance to talk about what we've had.
Well, just wish everybody have a good weekend.
Yes.
Yes, so enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow. Don't forget to get this week's copy of The Eastern Door at Bayside Convenience, Mohawk Gas Bar, and Little Tree, or you can subscribe online at theeasterndoor.com. And that was a conversation with the Pines Reporter journalist Hadassah Alankar and Fern Marmont from The Eastern Door, part of our collaboration reviving Gunnesadauga Radio to grow Indigenous media and community reporting here in Gunnesadauga. For more local stories and updates, stay tuned here to RKR 101.7 FM and go grab yourself a copy of The Eastern Door. Once again, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Fern. Thank you, Hadassah. Tune in next week because we'll be back.